Scanning for audio.
Hello. I'm the Doctor. Basically, run.
Welcome once again to a Tin Dog podcast, number 121, or reviewing Series 31.1, or Smith 1.1. Yeah, let's go with that. Smith 1.1, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the 11th Hour.
Can I have an apple? All I can think about. Apples. I love apples. Maybe I'm having a craving. That's new, never had cravings before. Whoa! Look at that.
Are you okay?
Just had a fall. All the way down there, right to the library. Hell of a climb back up.
You're soaking wet.
I was in the swimming pool.
You said you were in the library.
So was the swimming pool.
Are you a policeman?
Why? Did you call a policeman?
Did you come about the crack of my wall?
What crack?
You alright, mister?
No, I'm fine. It's okay. This is all perfectly normal.
Who are you?
I don't know yet. I'm still cooking. Does it scare you?
No, it just looks a bit weird.
No. The crack in your wall. Does it scare you?
Yes.
I like to produce a podcast the same week as the same show goes out. However, this last fortnight it's been a little bit impossible, mainly because I was on holiday, but more of that later. Before a new series starts, like any classic Doctor Who fan, you're always worried. You're worried that the world's going to realise that it's a bit Emperor's New Clothes, and that secretly they always hated Doctor Who, that it'll all fall apart, that the new actor won't be as good, and so on and so on. I know you felt the same way. We were told, we were reassured by Moffat that everything would be fine, and we wanted to believe it, but we're, a little bit paranoid. We can't help it. Yeah, we'd seen the confidential about Matt Smith being announced, and that was lovely. We'd seen him on a couple of other programmes, and we'd gone, oh, he's not bad. Looks a little bit out of the ordinary, but that's never a bad thing. The guy's meant to be alien, let's go with it. Then about a week before the show comes out, the new logo's announced. More about that again later. And then there's this pre-credit sequence on the BBC website that just puts your back up. Alright, the effects look nice, but why is Matt Smith hanging out the door? What's going on as he flies over London? It all looks a bit hyperactive, a bit, Lee Evans. Yeah, the guy's meant to be a doctor for the Twilight generation, but that's more something the press department would say than something we'd actually feel or watch. And so, Saturday comes round, and I'm on holiday. I'm in a small cottage in the middle of, let's say, Wales, with a TV that has dubious reception at best, and the guy who owns the cottage turns up to demonstrate how to use the log-burning stove, when in my head all I'm shouting is, "Get out, get out, get out! Doctor Who's on in less than a second's time." So I'm listening to this man demonstrate how to use a log-burning stove, moving the flue to the left, to the right, making sure the kindling's in the right place. And yes, I was in the Cubs and the Scouts. I know about fire. But it's fine. I'm being polite. I'm a Doctor Who fan after all. The titles come, the titles go. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm watching this credit sequence that again I'll talk about in a moment. And the guy keeps talking about the wonderful things in the area to visit and see. My small child is running around. I've got one eye on her. one eye on the guy, and I actually evolve a third eye just to watch Doctor Who. The episode progresses, 65 minutes long. I'm watching most of it, but I've also got a small child to feed. And even for a Doctor Who fan, reality is slightly more important than the TV show, albeit Smith 1.1. But from what I managed to see, he's very good. But I decide to reserve my judgment until I'm home and can watch it all the way through uninterrupted. And so I do. I've scanned iTunes and the BBC website and have yet to find a commentary. I'm not even sure they're doing one yet. I'll keep you informed either way on that one. But let's talk about the episode itself.
Okay. What have you got for me this time?
Look at you. Oh, you sexy thing. Look at you.
Moffat is in charge now. It's that simple. Of course he liked the work of RTD, but Moffat's work was the only stuff that RTD didn't have to change very much at all. I had the privilege in 2005 of meeting Moffat at a convention. During his speech he informed us that he'd been trying to write for Doctor Who since 1989. Probably bad timing, I suspect. He wanted this job. This is the job he's always wanted, and God bless him, he's going to make the best of it. In saying that, however, this was Sally Sparrow. Not the Sally Sparrow from Blink, no. Sally Sparrow from the Annual, the original Sally Sparrow short story, the one that Blink was eventually taken from. The small child who gets visited by a doctor. Moffat is stealing from himself, and I'm not going to argue for a moment that that's a bad thing. Just read the story and look around, you'll see the similarities in a startling way. I've already talked about the pre-credit sequence, but let's talk about the titles now. I love the Doctor Who theme tune. I could talk for hours. I even like the Sylvester McCoy version, which admittedly sounds like it's being played on a kazoo in a bath. I'm not fond of this one. Some time ago I remixed the current Doctor Who theme with Remember You're a Womble. You have no idea how much you can sing Remember You're a Womble along with this new theme tune. Like they said on BBC Points of View, it's actually an abomination. A friend of mine asked me to review the programme in a text. Smith, great. Pond, good. Plot, fine. Music, terrible. TARDIS, I'll get back to you.
The Wisdom of Solomon. Now, I promised earlier that we'd be giving the verdict on Doctor Who, so here it is. Well, before Matt Smith had uttered his first line as the 11th Doctor, viewers were queuing up to predict how much they'd hate his portrayal. But in a huge collective U-turn, you loved him and refocused your sights on a completely different aspect of the show. Noel Wallace emailed, new Doctor, excellent. New TARDIS, excellent. New assistant, excellent and sexy. New theme tune, an abomination. Ouch, Noel. Anthony Perkins adds, the title music is so far removed from Delia Derbyshire's wonderful radiophonic original that it's horribly unlistenable. Wait, they messed with the music? Just in case the message is not sinking in, Bill Everett underlines, this latest rework is absolutely awful. The nasty, nasty trumpets at the beginning together with the silly disco beat are abysmal. Do what they did with the EastEnders theme and put it back. Can you bear it if I play a little, just for those who haven't yet had the experience? This is what Doctor Who management had to say to us from America, where the new series is being launched. We are sorry viewers dislike the theme tune, but the arranger has made alterations to the music 4 times since 2005, so change is nothing new. Since 1963, the theme has changed in some ways 11 times, and that tradition is bound to continue. It is important for the regeneration of the show to keep revisiting the score while always retaining the haunting and groundbreaking essence of the original. So, Bill, they are not for turning or even retuning.
What have you got for me this time? New mouth. New rules. Who the man? Hello, everything. Hello. I'm the Doctor.
And in a sense, that's all this entire talk's going to be. Smith is great. He is the Doctor. I've got no problems with that at all. He's just alien enough. He's just funny enough. He takes the best aspects of the former Doctors, the acceptable aspects, and then runs with them so well. You couldn't not have cast this guy. He's just superb. He's fun, he's got the Troughton stuff, he's got the McCoy physical humour, but there's also a lot of the Fourth Doctor in there. Everyone's seeing their favourite Doctor in Smith, and that's something glorious. We are so in good hands with Smith. Amy, well, the child Amy was superb. The whole post-feminist, feminist, anti-feminist arguments that I'm sure will exist on other podcasts, I'll let you listen to those there. Yes, she's attractive. Yes, she looks a little bit vacant. Yes, the whole 14-year backstory, meaning that the Doctor's been around for longer than even he thinks, is marvellously executed here. She does tend to pout at the end of every sentence, but let's face it, it is her first story. I'm sure we can live with that. I'm also sure she'll go down in history and strike another blow for redheads everywhere. Again, none of these things are bad. I did enjoy the line about her being from Scotland and it being rubbish in England. Do you think that was a line from Moffat? Well, we'll get back to you. You see, it's very difficult to separate Amelia and Amy Pond's storylines because it's just so well done. Of course it's not perfect. The giant eye was less than great. Yeah, it's Sauron in space. But that's not the purpose of a post-regeneration story. Post-regeneration stories, the villain, the monster, the thing you need to find out about, or, in the Doctor Who's case, the mystery, is the Doctor himself. The thing you need to learn about is the Doctor. Okay, they shouldn't really have mentioned the forthcoming story arcs, the big crack that I'm sure will come back, all that business. But the giant floating eye was so bad that if anyone ever says the John Pertwee effects were bad, I'll just point them in the direction of this as an illustration of how things really haven't moved on. I've heard Doctor Who fans being apologetic to other people about the effects. This hasn't happened since the 80s. Come on, guys. Defend it. Yeah, there were some lovely touches in this story. I mean, as an animator and experimental filmmaker in my youth, I was very interested in the Doctor Who Confidential as to how and I think it's called pixelation, or it used to be, which now has different meanings when it comes to computers, but that's another story, of the movement using a stills camera was achieved. Yes, it's all very nice. I'm not a big fan of seeing inside the Doctor's mind, in the same way that I'm not a big fan in Big Finish of hearing the Doctor's thoughts. We need a level of separation from us and the Doctor, but that's fine. I'm always up for someone trying new things. Oddly, this seems to be following the same story arc, or story patterns, as the 2005 season. Number 1, set in present day, introducing new companion. Number 2, set in the distant future, aliens, odd things happening, end of a civilization of Earth. Story 3, set in the past. Again, it's a lovely trilogy, nicely set up, introducing brand new people to the series. Yeah, patterns that repeat themselves do annoy people from time to time, but if we try and ignore it, I'm sure it'll all go away. So I'll stop talking about this story. It's great, we enjoyed it, move on. Because next time is The Beast Below.
We should never have come here.
The darkness at the heart of this nation. Help us, Doctor.
The smiling fellas in the booze, they're everywhere.
You're our only hope.
This isn't a trick, this is for real. You've got to find the Doctor and get him back to the TARDIS. Please get the Doctor off this ship.
Before I go, here's a Whostrology. And now a reading for John Earnshaw, born on the 21st of February 1977. Born between Robots of Death and Talons of Weng Chiang, and on the anniversary of Doctor Who and the Silurians Episode 4, The Seeds of Doom Episode 4, and The Keeper of Traken Episode 4. Do not throw arms at people. It's not nice, and you could have an eye out. Your joint fear of bacon and puppets is well known to us all. Beware of ludicrously large lasers. Try not to interrupt someone's deep sleep, as they will wake up grumpy as hell, and try not to pick up something nasty on a visit to a garden centre. An old woman will call at an inopportune moment. Your father is not the man he once was, but this will only be obvious when an old clock vanishes from the hall. And so until next time, be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast.
Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.